he will fit in perfectly like a glove to hand in the way we play. Go and watch Ben Sesko and make your informed opinion on him. Take away the fact that he's young. For me, when people come with the trouble, he's young. Saka is young. Martinelli is young. Why are you not concerned about your age? Because if you're good enough, you're old enough. So let's stop this. He's young, he doesn't have experience. If you're good enough, you are old enough. So for me, some of you might disagree, and you're free to disagree that you don't want Benjamin Sesko. I'm just laying down the traits and why I think Benjamin Sesko is fantastic. And if you look at his injury records too, right? He hasn't had bad injury records. Like he had a torn muscle fiber 29 days. He had a thigh problem 14 days. He had a torn muscle fiber again 15 days. So he doesn't have any long-term injury record of any knee injury. So those kind of things that excite me about Benjamin Sesko. We want a player who has not suffered all those kind of significant injuries. He's still young. His body is still. Welcome and welcome to the present. If you're just seeing my channel for the first time, be kind enough to strike the like button, consider subscribing, and do not forget to turn on the notification bell. So let's talk about a potential summer recruit in Benjamin Sesko. I love this player. I've watched a few games for that he played for IB Leipzig. For me, he's a quality striker. Why do I like this striker? He's very fleet-footed. He's very slippery and skillful. He can dribble in tight spaces. He can maneuver in tight spaces. I love his transition move, his movement. If you love Kai Havertz's movement, you'll love his movement. He's young. Some of you say, "Oh, what are his goal records?" Let's look at some of his goal records. Maybe. Okay, so let's go his goal records, right? 2019 to 2023, he has had 55 appearances, 21 goals. That is kind of very average, right? It doesn't look that great, I understand. In 2019 to 2021 for FC Lefren on loan, he had 44 appearances, 22 goals. Then in present time, in 2023 to 2024 right now, for RB Leipzig, he has made 21 appearances and 7 goals. That wasn't impressive. Yes, this is why sometimes you have to read statistics with nuances. Out of those 21 appearances, he hasn't had too many starts. And I get it. So why you say, oh, that's not you going to get this player? Calm down and I'll tell you why. Now, the market is not littered with a lot of little strikers or clinical strikers because people are shouting, Osimhen is not a clinical striker. Let's not go and look at the numbers and watch him. He is not. Do not let the media exaggerate Osimhen. Same for Tony. He's not a little striker. He had one good season. You don't measure a striker by one good season. By that metric, Rashford Tuesday is a clinical striker. And we know Rashford is none. So let's not go by those metrics. You have to go by what is sustainable and what's applicable. Now, the numbers of Benjamin Sesko are not looking great. But the context is that the team is playing for. If Benjamin Sesko was playing for a team like Arsenal, the numbers would look different because of how we play and our midfield and our attack. Now, for me, Benjamin Sesko is what we call a collaborative striker. What's a collaborative striker? A collaborative striker is a striker that can play with the attacking cast, like the wingers, the left wingers and right wingers. And we have Saka, I have Martinelli. He can interchange with them just the way Jesus play. Jesus might not be as little as what Arsenal fans want him to be. Look at the collaborative striking things he does for the team. We have more winning odds on our side when Jesus play. Why? Even though he's not scoring all the goals, Saka is chipping in, Martinelli is chipping in, all the guys chipping in. So when you're buying a striker these days, especially the key things that the market is not littered with strikers. Do not fall for the trope. Don't fall for the narrative of Osimhen because it's a big name or spirit might doing fantastic job or narrative of Ivan Toney. Those strikers are not little strikers. And one of the mistakes a lot of fans don't even put into cognizance when looking at strikers is that you want a striker that when they are going through their route, they are still being useful to the team. You don't want to like Rashford or Manchester United fans. Look at Rashford. When he's not scoring, he's useless. Ivan Toney, when he's not scoring, he's useless. Osimhen, when they are not scoring, I know you are useless. You don't want a striker like that. You want a striker that when, even though they are not scoring, they are going to a patch, they are still contributing to the team effectively. Look like Firmino. Look at Jesus. When they are not scoring, they are still contributing to the team. Because these days, football is evolving and changing. And with Benjamin Sesko, for me, the way he plays the game, he's swift, he's quick, he's fleet-footed, he can dribble in tight corners, he can dribble out of danger, he can pass, his movement is elite. So that's kind of striker you want because there is nothing set in stone. There is no guarantee when you go and buy these strikers that they're going to score the amount of goals you are hoping or projecting on them to do. But the guys that there is high chance of them succeeding. When I enter my watch Benjamin Sesko, I'm like, Arsenal needs to get him, even though he's young, you need to get it right now because in the next few years, the big clubs, traditional big clubs, the Madrid, the Barca, will be onto him. That boy is up to something special, and I can see it. Just like I called Kai Havertz in the beginning, a lot of Arsenal fans were shouting, "Oh, is a Chelsea rich?" I'm like, no, no, watch him and forget about the fact that Chelsea are a dumpster fire. Watch him in isolation and look at the player on his own merit. You can say he's a quality player. And thankfully, a lot of people are beginning to see what I was talking about Kai Havertz. And when I look at Benjamin Sesko, Arsenal cannot afford not to go for him. I know there are bigger names in the market, quote and unquote, the Osimhen's, the Ivan Toney's, and the guy from Sporting Lisbon who was at Coventry. For me, he's having a purple patch. I do not trust him. A lot of you have not watched him his full games. They just watched his highlights, so you're falling for that. No, for me, the traits I've seen from Benjamin Sesko just excites me. He's a striker, in my opinion, meant for the Premier League, meant for us, especially for Arsenal, because the way we play, he will fit in perfectly like a glove to hand in the way we play. Go and watch Ben Sesko and make your informed opinion on him. Take away the fact that he's young. For me, when people come with the trouble, he's young. Saka is young. Martinelli is young. Why are you not concerned about your age? Because if you're good enough, you're old enough. So let's stop this. He's young. He doesn't have experience. If you're good enough, you are old enough. So for me, some of you might disagree, and you're free to disagree that you don't want Benjamin Sesko. I'm just laying down the traits and why I think Benjamin Sesko is fantastic. And if you look at his injury records too, right? He hasn't had bad injury records. Like he had a torn muscle fiber 29 days. He had a thigh problem 14 days. He had a torn muscle fiber again 15 days. So he doesn't have any long-term injury record of any knee injury. So those kind of things that excite me about Benjamin Sesko. We want a player who has not suffered all those kind of significant injuries. He's still young. His body is still good. So for me, he passes the metrics I used to judge a potential recruit for my club Arsenal.